Hi everyone. Welcome to today's Cluster API release team meeting. Today is Wednesday, 27th September. Just a reminder, this meeting is recorded and later will be uploaded to YouTube channel. Also, Cluster API is under the Kubernetes SIG, and we follow CNCF code of conduct, which boils down to being kind and respectful to each other. Also, please add your names to the attendees list, and if you have anything to discuss, please add it to the agenda. With that, I think we can get started. PSA, everyone knows, but yesterday we cut patch releases, v1.5.2 and 4.7. It was a great team effort, I would say. Thanks everyone who involved, and special thanks to Stephen, who facilitated it yesterday. And I hope other members of the release lead will also step up and give this a try so that we rotate, or even others from the other team can also do that. Just reach out to me so that we agree it on time and in advance. And yeah, let's give an update in today's office hours for the wider community. That was a PSA, and as usual, I'll ask if we have anything to discuss from the tracking issue that we have for improvements. Does anyone have any questions, problems, anything to discuss from this list of issues? So I don't see if you are raising your hand. Just speak up if you want to say something.
Yeah, sorry. So I actually went ahead and created an issue as well as an PR for the last task, last two tasks that was assigned to me. But it seems like there is an update from Killian, and he mentioned that probably the task that I've been assigned is actually something that the comms team is already doing. So I'm just waiting for your update on that. As you were on vacation, I thought I'll just connect with you later about that.
Yeah, sorry, which issue are you specifically talking about? Is it this one?
This one. Yeah, this one.
I think I reviewed, and then we agreed on updating this PR. If you follow this discussion, yeah.
Got it.
So
probably I missed the conversation. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, we agreed that it has two parts, and we can leave the current nodes as it is in your PR, but we would just clarify that we have to remove the makefile targets for the old branches, and also clarify the nodes from the CI tasks that it refers only to the test infra repo changes and nothing from the cluster API repo, as I summarized here. And Killian was agree with that. So if you could update the PR, that would be good.
Sure, yeah. I'll do that. No problem. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, about this one, Stephen. So I think we have that, no? Or
there was a task, but it looks like it might have been marked as completed.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah. But I think we will be discussing this in a minute. So let's see what others think, and then I'll update accordingly, probably, if that works for you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I just dropped a comment on there, so it didn't. Sure. I know some of that stuff in Slack gets kind of aged out and lost sometimes. So,
yep. Thank you. Right. If no further questions on this, let's move to the discussion topics. First from Guillermo, and that's what we just were discussing. Guillermo, please take it on.
Yeah, so just for if folks were in yesterday in the release meeting, we realized that the rocket that we were trying to use as a prefix for the release PRs is not accepted, obviously, by the GitHub action that we have to check the PR titles, obviously, because this is a new one. It turns out that GitHub action is from KubeBuilder, I think, or from the folks in KubeBuilder, and it has a hard-coded set of emojis that are supported. It turns those are the same emojis that we use right now, so that's not a problem, but it doesn't seem that there is an option to add one, except by changing the code. So we had to default back to using the seedling, which is fine because our release tool, it's already coded. It already has a fallback to support that. But ideally, we will want to move to the Rocket, at least for, let's call it the 1.6 release. So opening the room for conversations, we have multiple options here, right? We either go to the KubeBuilder folks and it's like, hey, we want to add this option to make this configurable, or we have our own GitHub action, or we do something else that is not a GitHub action, or maybe we use a different tool that already exists there that permits configurability. So yeah, I know Farked, you had some opinions, so just wonder if anyone else also wants to chime in, and then we can make a decision together.
Great. Thanks, Guillermo, for summing it up. Yeah. Upstream, I'm not sure how welcome would it be. I think we can do that, but it would be custom and for specific for cluster API. But that should be okay, right? I'm not sure. We don't have an issue yet. And as you're already pointing out, we could find also alternative to the GitHub action. That's also one option. I don't have really I cannot really favor one over other, but I'm just thinking like how long would it take upstream to, if we open, and would they accept it? That I'm not sure, but yeah, if anyone has any further ideas, that would be also good to hear.
My 2 cents on this will be whatever is easier, right? So having this check is not necessarily a core competence of cluster API. So I don't think we should spend a lot of time making this perfect or our own. And at the same time, I would like to reduce to the minimum the amount of time that we need to maintain this, right? So for example, coding from scratch our own solution will be on the other end of the spectrum, which is probably requires more time. I don't have the same as you, Farked, a strong opinion on the solution, but those will be my goals to try to do whatever is easier and faster right now, and also whatever requires less maintenance from our part in the future. If that is going upstream and modifying their code, if they take it, that's good. They already had the good part about that is they already had all the infrastructure, etc., that takes their code and makes it an available GitHub action. So for us, it will be as easy as going to our GitHub action and then updating to the next version. If we try to do our own GitHub action, we'll need to replicate all that effort. But if someone is a wizard with the GitHub actions and can do this easily with, I don't know, bash commands or whatever, that's also an option. So yeah, Michael.
Yeah, Michael?
I mean, I was thinking Cube Builder's pretty active. I feel like we should just ask them first, and then, if it takes too long or they don't want to add it, then we can think of the other options. Because it seems like it would be easiest, right? If we can just add it there and they don't mind.
Yeah, I believe so. Because it's already there, right? It's adding one more new option, and that's it. If they accept, of course. That would be easiest, I believe. So I think we can give it a try, maybe going upstream and asking if we can add the new emoji and explain like why do we need it, and try to get that in. What do you folks think?
Yeah, I think that sounds good to me. Maybe we could just start by creating an issue upstream, proposing the changes that we want. Like, hey, we want an option to add, an optional list of emojis that are not hard coded here, so we can configure it ourselves, and see what they say. Maybe they want to take on that work, or maybe we'll need to take it. But I think that sounds good to me.
Yep. Any other comments on this? And do we have volunteers who wants to take this up and discuss it? And of course, we'll be also involved, but someone who can own it.
What does everyone think? What does everyone think about, like, if we just ask for the rocket emoji? Like, do we need an optional configurable list? Kind of like a question.
I think more configurable is better. But just adding one emoji, I think configure is much better. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, that's going to be up to the Qfiller folks or the owners of this repository to decide, right? The issue, if I was them, that I will surface of adding one emoji is that anyone using this GitHub action will also inherit that new emoji, right? Which means that in their PRs, the rocket emoji will start being accepted.
Mm-hmm.
The rocket emoji only makes sense right now in our repository because we are the only ones who made the decision to start using it, which means that if they add it as a default, now everyone else has it. So it means that even if the maintainers of the repository don't want that emoji, peer authors can start using it, right? And the GitHub action will accept it. So that's the problem that I see with just adding a hard-coded one. But, we can just ask and see what they say. We can propose both options and be like, hey, what do you think about hard-coding? What do you think about making this optional? My 2 cents is if they accept the hard-coded one, then even easier, but they might not.
That makes sense. I guess if no one has the task, I can make the issue, start a discussion.
Sweet, that sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Miguel. Yeah, please open an issue, and if you could share it somewhere on the Slack, and we could also maybe participate and help if needed. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, will do.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions on this topic? And update this issue once you open the issue to refer to it. All right, if no questions on this, next one also on Guillermo. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so this was brought up by Killian, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday in one of the in a PR that I made to change the release tool Go code. And he suggested that maybe we could add approval permissions to the release team or a subset of the release team or something like that. The idea, I suspect, is to reduce workload on the maintainer side, since this is not production code. This is only being used for the release nodes, and the release team basically owns this process. So it seems logical that they might have also permissions to alter this code. So I'm just opening the conversation here and see if, as a release team, we want to request that. What do we want to request, etc. We can't make the decision by ourselves, but we can make a decision as a team. Do we want these permissions or not? And then go create an issue to discuss it with the rest of the maintainers.
So if I'm understanding it correctly, it would be Hack's tools release repo, right?
Yeah,
This
or
one?
even, yeah, that's probably what I will go for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it makes sense to me. We already have maintainer rights, right, in some of these subfolders to prove LGTM PRs during the release. And this also, since this is a release related, so I think it would be good, since we have some work going on currently to improve this tool, to probably have them quickly reviewed and merged. That should also help. So I can start a discussion opening issue, and basically I'm in favor of it. No objections from my side, but what others think?
So in general, I'm in favor of this change. I think it makes sense, especially on the part that removes work from the maintainer side. I play the rules advocate here because I have a small concern, which is the release team is not fixed, right? It changes from release to release, which means that the people who gain those permissions on every 3 or 4 month cycle, whatever it is going to keep changing. And not all of those people, the moment that they join the release team, have experience with the release process and the release tool in particular. Now, everyone on this call right now has experience with it, right? We've already gone through 2 patches. We've been talking about this for at least a month or a couple of months. We all have these contacts already built. But when the next cycle comes for 1.7, that might change. Some of us might repeat as members of the release team, but some of us might not, which means that new people will come in. If we give approval permissions to all those people, then we're taking the risk of code being merged that doesn't meet, let's call it, the standards that we as a release team have been building over time. So I'm not sure if that is necessarily a risk that we need to be concerned, or maybe it is, and I'm not sure what the solution is there. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is that a concern that you all share or no?
Yeah, I can relate. Agree with that. That's one risk, actually. You're right. But considering next release teams, or like if we are kind of expecting that folks or shadows from the current team would follow or continue with the release team next time, then we have some kind of safety there. But as you said, if it's a completely new team, or it can happen. So in that case, I think I see the risk as well. Maybe we could have just LGTM rights and ask maintainers always have the approval rights. I'm not sure, but that's still, I don't know if that helps even, because the purpose is to have less work for them. But if we still require the approval rights, it's the same. So yeah.
So what do you
should
think
we
about this, Furkat?
Should we
Sorry,
discuss?
I cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think about giving, same as that what we have for the release PR trigger, right? What if everyone in the release team has LGTM permissions, but only the release team lead, or however it's called right now, manager, has the approval permissions? And I'm not necessarily saying that the release manager or team lead has to review the code, but at least we can put the responsibility on them to determine if enough people have reviewed the code, or if the right people have reviewed the code, right? Which is, at the end, that's the theory behind the approval. Is LGTM is, hey, I know about this code and I think it looks good. And approval means I have checked that enough people, or the right people, have given an LGTM for this PR. So maybe we can do that. And then assuming that usually the release team lead has some experience with the release process, or at least is aware of who are the folks who have experience with this code, then maybe we can just restrict it to only one person as opposed to the whole team.
Yeah, that should also work. So it would be actually the same thing as we have for release nodes right now, right? Release lead have the approval rights, and the remaining team has LGTM.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. If we have the next release lead from the current team, and that should be the case, as far as I know, and it makes sense. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. Should we open an issue then and ask from the maintainers, or how do we want to handle it?
Yeah, I'll open an issue unless anyone else wants to take this. But
Yes, please go ahead. Since it was, I think, in your PR that he suggested, it would be maybe easier, and we can jump in and continue the discussion there.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I was muted. Adil, please go ahead.
Yes, so this is just an update from the CI team. We had a session with Kilian on Monday regarding this dual stack issue. We debugged it with the CI team together, and we were not able to find the actual solution, what is causing the issue and how to solve it. But we, in the end, we decided to add more logs and create a PR. So Kilian has a PR already open, so we can debug it more. So we probably have a new follow-up session probably up next week, or maybe this week. I'm not sure. Once Kilian is able to find some solution about this dual stack. Other than that, we still have some flakes in the CI. In addition to dual stack, we are looking into them also. Yeah, that's mostly it. We just wanted to give the update about the flakes.
Thanks, Adil. And if you want to do next session publicly. If you could share the link so that folks can join, that would be also good. But if not, that's also fine.
Yes. Yeah, previous session was also, I think, publicly. I think Nawaz posted on
Oh,
the
right.
CAPI.
Probably
Yeah.
I missed it then. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks for the update.
we'll make sure to, yeah, we'll make the next session also public.
Sure. Thank you. I think we are the end of the meeting. Is there anything to discuss? We have 1 minute. If not, well, we can close the meeting here and jump to the next one in 1 minute. Right? I don't see anything. Raise hands. Thanks everyone for joining, and see you in a minute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.